Hello and welcome to this module where we're going to talk about how can you acquire new clients, and we're going to do in two parts. So here is the part one. Now what I'm going to talk to you in this is based on my learnings with two major companies. One was Volkswagen, who has a worldwide process rolled out for excellence in sales in retail where they use this process, and at Aviva for insurance where also they use a lot of these processes. My name is Arun Singhal. I'm your management coach and mentor with 40 years of experience in people development. So as mentioned, what are we going to do today in this module is to get an in-depth understanding of first five steps of how can you acquire new clients that can help you build excellence in sales. And in specific, we're going to talk about five steps: lead generation, lead qualification, first personal contact, company presentation, and need analysis. So how can you acquire new clients in best possible way? What's your thoughts? You want to recap some of the things that we've been talking about? Okay. So this is actually a 9-step process that you see on your screen, and there are total 11 steps. The last 2 steps are part of satisfying, maintaining relationship, and there are 9 steps. And the 9 steps, as you would have guessed by now, start with generating a lead. Lead is something that you can lead into getting a new client. Then you do what is called a business case preparation, where we qualify the leads, and we will talk about what that qualification means. Then we do what is called a first personal contact. You establish the first round of relationship in the first time you meet the person or you talk to the person. Then you do a company presentation and you do a need analysis. Then you make an offer and follow up, and then you do approvals and trials of samples, and finally you end up closing the sales. Now, this is the process, a generic process. The process could be kind of modified depending on your product and services, or it could be shortened, but this is a generic process that you can use to build your own process for your own products and services. So let's get into each of the steps now. So how can you generate lead? If the first step is lead generation, how do you think you can generate the lead? Lead is something, is something that promises you that this is the person that I can talk and take the process further to hopefully convert into a client. So how do you generate a lead? Is there a process that you're aware of? Can you think of a process? All right. So let me share with you the process of lead generation. Lead generation is actually a part of marketing that you do this in sales excellence. You actually end up doing marketing. And in this, what you're trying to do is that you have a list of, or you have a pool of potential customers, and you reach out and you communicate to them in a certain systematic manner that can make them come and talk to you and say, hey, yeah, I'm interested in what you said. Let's talk about it. So how do you do that? So if you have a product and service, the first thing is you kind of segment your market. You say, okay, who are the possible type of customers that I have? And you could do this segmentation on the type of business, type of companies, capitalization, large cap, small cap, mid cap, small, medium enterprises, startups, so depending on that. And you could also do on competition. I'm going to target, you can look at various types of competitors you have, and say, I'm going to target all the users of a competitor X. Or if I'm Wipro baby care product, I'm going to go and compete not with Johnson & Johnson, but with Dabur for that matter. So I'm going to look at the potential competitors and the users of that users of that competitor in segmenting the market. So you segment the market, you divide the market into small fractions. And once you do that, then what you do is among the various targets, I need to figure out one segment that I'm going to target. So that's what's called targeting. And what you do is all the various segments, there are 4, 5, 6. I don't recommend you doing more than about 6 segments because then it becomes very difficult to analyze. So you segment your market into 5, 6 segments, and then you evaluate them on how attractive are these segments. And what is your probability of success? Now, how do you evaluate on attractiveness is you look at the size of each segment, you look at the growth potential, and you look at the profitability potential. How crowded is that segment? How uncrowded is the segment? The more uncrowded a segment is, more you is likely to be profitable. Larger the segment is, more your chances of getting business. Growing segment also is going to be easier. So you look at and you can do a high-low kind of analysis for attractiveness based on certain qualitative parameters. Second variable that you look at is you look at probability of success. Which of the segments are you likely to succeed more? And it depends on who are the people, what are the customers doing in that segment? What product are they using today? And versus that, what's your package going to be in terms of your product, pricing, your promotional and delivery effect? So what is your package compared to what consumers or users are using today in that segment? And you make a judgment, do you have a high probability of success and low? And ultimately, you pick up those segments, or you pick one segment that's most attractive and where your probability of success is higher. So that's what the targeting is. Third thing that you do is then you go into positioning. So you identify a segment, and for that segment, you say, okay, what do I position myself? What kind of benefit can I offer to my target customers? And why can I offer? What is their problem? What are they not getting today from their current suppliers? What is it that I can give them in a way which is better than what they are getting from their current supplier or current company? And for that, you need to have an insight. You need to put your brand, the name of the brand. What is the benefit you're offering? And ultimately, the reason to believe. So three key important things in positioning. One, what is the uniqueness that you have? What is different about you? Second thing, what is the benefit that you offer? And third thing is, what is the reason to believe? And in that, you make a small positioning statement, a paragraph stating these three things. And this positioning statement becomes your communication centerpiece, and that you communicate. So basically, you end up saying, hey, sir, I understand you're looking for a new phone. And I understand you're using a phone that currently has a very short battery life. My phone offers you longer battery life for about couple of days, and it is because I'm using lithium batteries which are longer lasting than some of the competitors that are using that. And that's the kind of a message that you build and you communicate through a right media, a media that your users are listening to, looking at a frequency that's comfortable with them at the time, and do the target audience, and you communicate that. And that process of marketing, sending a message or an advertising your message, which can fulfill the needs of that customer, generates the lead. So you start getting responses. You either, whatever way you prefer, either you start getting calls or emails back, or messages or clicks or whatever. So that's how you generate the lead, right? So let's go to the second stage. So you have reached out to your target markets with a brand positioning in a communicated in a meaningful way, and you generate, let's say, about 100 leads. Now the question is, what would you do with the 100 leads? What would you do with it? Would you go ahead and start making an offer? And obviously, you don't make an offer as you see. The offer comes at much later stage. So what you do here is what is called qualification of the leads. So how do you qualify the leads? So this process is called business case preparation. In this, what you do is, the purpose of this, the goal of business case preparation is to qualify leads, to assess potential impact. And I'm bringing this example for a company where we use this process called Chris Flexi Packaging. So to illustrate the whole example. So if this you were doing, who were into supplying this flexi packaging material that are used for packaging snack foods, right? So if you were reaching out to those leads who needed those flexible packaging material, you would then assess the potential business for the company. That is, in this case, the Chris or your company. And also you will look at the potential benefit for the prospect. Because unless there is a benefit for both, the win-win for both, this lead is not going to be that great a lead. And you will screen the leads that you've got in the earlier step, and you will qualify the leads that offer sizable business for Chris or for your company, as well as for benefit for the prospects. and you will generate this list of, so these are what is called your prospects. So from your raw leads, you can qualify and convert a possible list of prospects. So if you have got 100 leads, maybe you will get about 50, 60, 80, 70, depending on the quality of your communication. You will get and you will start working on that. Why is this important to do that? Because if only these quality leads that have a sizable business for the prospect has the probability of being converted into sale. If the prospect doesn't get significant benefit, or you don't get significant benefit, would you be interested in carrying this forward? So what should be done in this step? So first thing is you need to assess business potential for the company, right? Second, you need to assess the potential benefit for the prospects. And here you do some estimations. And then based on that, you qualify, you screen the leads that have come earlier. And you maintain a list of such screened prospects and communicate these prospects to, if you are doing yourself, maintain the list and use for taking the sales process. How can be done correctly? Here is what you need to understand what your potential customer is using. So you need to understand the brand, the product, the material that is used by the prospect. Find out what are the other materials that you're using, what does it cost, what benefit does it give. And then you say, okay, if the customer is going to start using my product, what are the kind of benefits they can get? What will it cost more or similar? And then you make some kind of quick calculation, quick estimate on the business benefit that the client can get. And also you get, if my company gets this business, what is the size of pie that I will get? And at the end of the result, you have two numbers that tells you what is the size of pie for yourself and what is the business benefit that potential client will have by shifting to your business. And that you use to prepare the business case. And you will use this in some other way also as you see in the future, right? So very interesting step in determining what is the likely benefit for your company and for the client, and only those that have significant sizes of both benefits to the client and to you have the potential to go through the funnel. So once you have such screened leads or prospects identified from 100, supposing you get down to 60, you identify 60 of them have the right size of business for you and for benefit for the client. The next step is to establish a personal contact. So how do you go about establishing a personal contact? Any thoughts? Want to think about it? Come back. And what the hell is personal contact? Okay. So personal contact is your first attempt to establish contact with your potential contact, the people, the prospects. From the leads you've come to prospect, 100 to 60. Now these 60 you need to establish the first connect. Why do you need to establish the first connect? Is because it's very important that people do not change suppliers, businesses, or brands without knowing about you, having faith in you, building trust in you. So the process of sales will not effectively move forward without having some kind of relationship. So you need to build the first round of personal relationship. And a personal meeting or a call is the best way to build trust and rapport. So you need to build rapport and trust. And what is the purpose of this step is to fix an appointment with the prospect using the business case and meet the prospect either in person or in a video call, or worst case in an audio call, and establish a personal rapport. The whole objective is you're not going to get business in the first step. So you need to first get liked yourself. Someone had told me beautifully is that the steps in doing business is people don't buy your product first. First, they buy you. They like you. If they like you, they go forward. Second, they buy your company. They like your company and they go forward. And the third stage, they start liking your product and buying your product. So it's very important that you get liked, you establish the personal contact. So how it should be done? You call your prospects. You have by now you have got a list of prospects. So you call, or you send an email, or you send a message, and you give a reason for the call. And you offer a visit to the site, or an on-site, or a call, and you say, I'd like to meet you. I have something interesting. I understand you using this product, and this is what is using. I have some proposal for you. And you don't disclose the proposal. You say, I have something interesting to share with you. Because the whole idea is to build some curiosity. And then you go and meet the person, and there you establish the contact. So once you get the call, there are two steps in this. One, to get the first meeting appointment, and the second, actually having the meeting done here. So how do you do correctly? So you say, hey, sir, hey, Mr. Shah, supposing your client's name is Mr. Shah, my name is Arun Singhal, I'm from Chris FlexiPack, and is this a good time to talk to you for a few minutes? So you take permission. Permissions are great. I understand you are currently using CCBs. CCB is corrugated boxes as a tertiary packaging material for your baby oil bottles. Is my understanding right, sir? Take permission again. So people like people who take permission. So you keep taking permission. The whole idea in this step is to get liked, build rapport, trust. I have a small business case to present to you, sir, that can help you save about 12 lakhs rupees annually. So you're throwing the kind of a small benefit, a summary of what you can do for them. So this is how the business case gets started coming in handy. Can we meet someday over a cup of tea so that I can share with you this personally? When and where shall we meet, sir? If you're trying to get a meeting. And a meeting is the first, is the best way to have a first personal contact, because we are all still human beings. We like to meet, shake hands, see each other. If not, then obviously the second method is to get a call. So just wanted, so supposing you get a confirmation, that's the first big win that you had. Then you again, before you go and meet, you on the same day, you again call and say, hello, Mr. Shah, this is Arun Singhal again from Chris FlexiPack. Just wanted to confirm a meeting at 10 a.m. at Aroma to discuss a small business case of 12 lakhs rupees for your company. And you get a confirmation. And you do the actual meeting. In the actual meeting, you sit across, smile, make an eye contact, give your customer the business case at the beginning of a discussion. He said, sir, I told you about this 12 lakh that you can save. This is what you can do, sir. Before you do that, you need to establish personal contact. And there what you talk about is small talk. Say, hey, sir, how you been? I understand that you are also living in Mulund, sir. I am also living in Mulund. It's a wonderful place, sir. So like this, you do small talk. You do small polite talks, and you wait. If you are meeting in a restaurant, you wait till you're offered a seat. If you're offered a drink, you accept a drink, or you offer a drink. So depending on what, pay attention to small things. So there are small ways that you can build this personal. Say thank you as many times as appropriate. Appreciate, because people like being appreciated. So say wonderful, nice things. So as many places. So this is how you build personal contact. The whole objective in this is not to make a sale. It's to establish a personal rapport so that it opens the door, you build the relationship and carry forward your conversations in the later stages. So next step, after you have established a personal contact, in that meeting itself or later on, is to make the company presentation. And ideally, if you can do that in the same meeting, is the wonderful, because you've already given the idea of the business case. So what do you do? What is the purpose? Why? What is the goal of the company presentation? The goal of the company presentation is to introduce your company, because he or she doesn't know about your company. You need to introduce your company. Who are the clients you have? What kind of capabilities you have, and the prospect's business case and rationale for giving you a chance for to business partner with them. What the purpose of this is to get prospects interested in giving you a chance for business partner and fixing a date for the next step of need analysis. So it could be either today or it could require another day. Why is this important? Because your customers are not buying a product, but the benefits they're expecting from it. And for that, they need to, before they move forward, they need to start believing you, and they need to know more about your company. So you need to talk about your company. So what should be done in this company? You need to make a short presentation of the company on its client's capability, followed by a presentation of the business case for the client. And how do you do that? Is you highlight the main points of the presentation relevant to the prospect. So by now you should have done some research on the prospect. So you talk about the relevant points. You offer a meeting with the director of the company or a plant visit. You can say, hey, sir, wonderful. I'll be glad to have you in our plant and meet our directors. You come quickly to the business case for the prospects. You say, sir, state before starting the business case, this is only the initial assessment, and the verification will need to be done, due diligence will need to be done later. Start with the annual benefit, because that's everyone is interested in money, right? And what are the key elements of that? Use customer-oriented statements like, you will get this benefit, not I will deliver you. You can get. So it's a you-oriented approach that you need to have, customer-focused approach. Try and be very positive. If there are questions that you do not have answers of, they say, hey, I'll come back to this, instead of saying, no, sir, I don't know about it. So be positive on, because you want a positive answer in this, right? Or moving forward. After each segment of your presentation, check whether the customer is interested in asking open questions, more questions. So if you make a small section, you cover about the cloud capabilities. Do you have any further questions? So make it interactive. So that's how you do a company presentation. Yeah, so it has to be an interactive presentation. I mentioned to you about doing in a customer-focused way, customer-oriented phrasing. So I want to give you some examples that you see on your screen of how can we do that. So if supposing if your novel thought comes to you, sir, we offer broad product line. So instead of that, if you say, you get everything from one source. So you see the difference? I'm always within reach. You can always contact me, sir. I offer the best prices. You have the optimal cost performance ratio from me. You are getting the best deal. So instead of I, because that sounds egoistic, you have to keep converting into you phrases. And that is very, very important in that company presentation. The last phase in today's module is the need analysis. Before we will take the remaining in the next module is about the need analysis. So how do you think you should do need analysis? Any thoughts? Okay, let me share with you how do you do the need analysis. So what is the goal of the need analysis? The goal of the need analysis is to find out what is the prospects or your potential client's needs for customization. What is the specific things that he or she needs it? And also need to understand the prospects criteria for making the purchase. What are the things that he or she will evaluate your product to see whether it fits well with their requirements or not? Why is this important? Is because you can only make your customers a suitable offer once you know what they need. How would you make an offer without even knowing what they needed? And while you are taking what is called blind guesses, you are shooting in the dark alley, right? More needs you discover, better the chances of concluding sales, because your sale is like it'll have many anchor points, and more their anchor points are, and these anchor points will have to be the client's needs. So your product has 5 anchor points to 5 needs versus 2 anchor point or 1, you have a greater probability of success. So what should be done while doing the need analysis? You need to ask mainly open questions, which are like, and what are the open questions? It's like, what and who are you currently using for your tertiary packaging of your product? If you're going back to the same client, who are we pitching for baby oil, corrugated boxes, shifting from current supplier to us, he'll say, what and who are you currently using for the tertiary packaging of your material? So remember, here are very open questions. What and who are? We're not saying that we are not talking about our product. We are trying to understand what products are your potential client is using. What has been your experience with your current packaging material and supplier, right? How do you use your current material, and what are the issues that you face? So that is what we get into, is trying to find what are the pain points the customer has, because more the pain points are, more the chances of you cracking the sale. Second thing you need to do is to determine the purchase criteria. Visit the lower cost, faster delivery, better quality, lower inventory, that are important to your prospects, so that you can present them in a more customer-oriented ways later. You can package your offer in those terms, those criteria. That is important to your client. So how would you do it correctly? So you would ask questions like, what is the main purpose of packaging? So why do you buy this packaging? And you will then listen. What would you like to be better in your packaging material and supplier? What would you particularly want in your tertiary packaging? Is there anything that you dislike in your current supplier? So you determine all such needs. What tests and methods that you will use. So What is your target cost to be? What are the important things that you would look for to evaluate any new product that you will consider instead of what you're using today? And then you also, if you get a chance, then when would you like the material to be delivered? That again depends on how the conversation. So you basically understand the requirements of the client in terms of what they are using today in top products, what is their experience, what are the gaps there, what are they looking for, what kind of delivery are they looking for, what kind of issues there, what are they happy about. So it's a knowing the experiences and satisfaction of the current client, the areas of dissatisfaction, the criteria of purchase that you can use to make an offer. Now, if you discover answers to all those questions, won't you be in better off shape to make an offer without doing the need analysis? Wonderful. So what did we learn in this module? So we learned in this module that we have to go through the 9 steps to best acquire the new clients, right from lead generation to sales closure. And we looked at in this module how to correctly do the following: the steps of lead generation, lead qualification, first personal contact, company presentation, and need analysis. So what are we going to do in the next module? Obviously, in the next module, we will go further in this steps. Having done need analysis, we'll see how to make an offer, how to do follow-ups, how to get trials done and do sample approvals, and finally close the sale. So thank you so much for watching this interesting module on how to acquire new clients in a best way, the best practices from Aviva and Volkswagen. And this was the part 1. I hope you have learned a lot of new things in this. I did learn from Aviva and Volkswagen many of these things, and they work wonderfully well. I look forward to seeing you again in the next module, where we will do the part 2 of the new client acquisition process.